Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's Lexi, and today it's time for my April wrap-up and May hopefuls. I have so many lovely books I can't wait to talk about, so let's get right into this. The first book I read in April was The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. If you have been following me on here or TikTok, you know this has been on my TBR for literal months. I am so glad I finally read it. I will say the story was not my favorite. I gave this book 3 stars. I do heavily think I just wasn't in the mood to read this type of book. It was marketed to me as like an adult caraval, and I did not get that vibe at all. It was very, very atmospheric and driven by the atmosphere, not necessarily the plot. And it's just not what I expected from this book. So I don't want to say it disappointed me because I didn't have a lot of expectations, but it just wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. And I'm kind of sad. I do think I would read this again in the future because I feel like there's probably a lot of things I missed, but it just didn't hit like I wanted it to. Unfortunately, I was so sad about it. This was one of my most anticipated reads of the year, and that was Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. And I also ended up giving this book a 3 stars. I was not a fan of this book. I did not enjoy the female main character at all. I did not enjoy any TikTok jokes, brain rot. Literally, this book was just cringe to me. Like, I don't have a better way to say it. It was cringy. I will say the reason it didn't get lower, the main character really carried this book for me. He was just a doll. And I do think some of the things in this book were important to talk about, mainly like bringing dementia and Alzheimer's and those kind of things to light and how that may affect some families. I just didn't enjoy the romance at all. Like, the female main character I think was extremely selfish, and the male main character was really going like 200% into this relationship, and she was just not giving. The fact that Rhysand from ACOTAR is mentioned at least 6 times was so cringy to me. I did not like that at all, and this is definitely my least favorite Abby Jimenez books. I'm so sad to say. Next, my first DNF of the year. I think this is my first DNF of the year, which is Our Infinite Fates. I didn't know anything about this book when I had gotten it. It is an Owl Crate book. I got to like page 160 and something was just not feeling right to me. Like, it just wasn't, I just wasn't enjoying it. It felt very copycat to Addie LaRue. And then I really just started praying about reading this book, and I felt very convicted not to read this because, spoiler, the male main character is the devil, and I ultimately decided to DNF. It just didn't align with my convictions, and I had to put it down. This book is just not for me. After DNFing that book, I read A Tempest of Tea, and I had been seeing this on social media for the longest times, and I just never read it. And I finally read it, and I'm so freaking glad I did. This book just feels like so happy, even though like it's not necessarily like a happy story. I love the concept of this book. I loved the female main character. I love that she's like a baddie who like she doesn't trust anyone, but she has like this one guy best friend who is like basically their brother and sister, and just their dynamic absolutely carried this book. There's not one character in this book that I was like disappointed by. I did give this book a 4 stars, and I will definitely be reading the second book and probably all of her other books. I just had such a fun time reading this. It was everything I wanted to be, and every time I read a YA fantasy, I'm like, why do I pick up any other genre? Like, I love YA fantasy. It always hits, and no different here. The last book I read in April was my most anticipated April read, and that is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. And I'm going to start by saying I was very scared for this book. I had seen very, very mixed reviews on social media. And I'm just here to say I absolutely adored this book. 5-star, like top 3 Emily Henry book for sure. I loved this book. My last video was an Emily Henry book, so I don't want to beat a dead horse, but This was such a beautiful novel. I loved the dynamics and the relationships and the way Emily Henry really attacked family dynamics in this book was absolutely amazing. And this book is just, I don't even have words for it. I finished it yesterday and I've just been thinking about the ending nonstop. It was amazing. That was my April wrap up. I had a pretty good reading month. I've been reading as consistently as I have in the past, so having 5 books to talk about, I'm really happy about, but I'm going to talk about my May hopefuls now, and I'm so excited about these. First, I have Six of Crows. This was my in-person book club's pick, and I have been told I need to read this book for probably 4 or 5 years, and I'm just now getting to it, and I'm so freaking excited. There's not a bone in my body that is dreading this book. I just cannot wait to read it. I know I'm gonna love it, and I just literally can't wait. So that will be one of the first books I finish in May for sure. My current read is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. If you know, I've been doing my Harry Potter reread very slowly, just kind of like slow rolling through, reading in between books for palate cleansers, and I'm like 80% done Order of the Phoenix, so I am going to finish that before I pick up Six of Crows, so that's why I'm putting it on May's TBR, because I do anticipate to finish that in May. Next, I would love to read Mad Honey. I don't know too much about this. I believe it's like a thriller literary fiction that takes place in Boston, Massachusetts, which is very close to where I grew up. And it just feels like, I don't know, I just like reading thrillers in the spring, and the cover looks very spring, and that's really the only reason I'm putting it on May, but I'm really excited about this. I also am doing a readathon in May, and I typically can read thrillers pretty quickly, so I may bring this for my readathon. Next, I have Lady Smoke by Laura Sebastian. This is the second book in the Ash Princess series. I don't know if I've talked about it on here or TikTok, but I reread Ash Princess late last year, like December, and I'm ready to get into the second book. This will also be a reread, but I am so excited about it. Like I was just saying, I love YA fantasy. It always brings me back to my absolute joy and what I love about books and reading. So I'm so excited to reread this so I can read the last one, which I've never read before, so I'm so excited. Read The Fractured Dark by Megan O'Keefe. This is the second book in the Blighted Stars trilogy, which is like an adult sci-fi. Based on how the first book ended, I don't know what this book's gonna entail, but I'm so excited and so here for it. My sister-in-law said this book picks up right away. There is no like lull of world building. There is no second book slump in this. It delivers, and I am so excited about this. I cannot wait. I did not think I'd be on a sci-fi journey this year, but here we are. Next, I have The Bright Years. This came out in April, and I haven't really seen anyone talk about it, but the description sounded so cool and so unique. It is like a literary fiction that takes place over decades of this family that lives in Texas, and just, I've heard it's sad, it's happy, it's romantic, it's a little bit of everything, which I love. And again, the cover just like screams spring to me, so I absolutely love that. Next book I want to try to read is Fearless by Lauren Roberts. This is the third book in the Powerless trilogy. I can't sit here and say I'm overly excited about the story because I didn't love the second book, but like I have major FOMO about everyone posting about it on social media, so I feel like I need to read it. Plus I've already read the first two, like one more book and I've completed the trilogy, so I might as well just do it. And I am kind of excited because I do want to see how it all plays out, but I just didn't love the second book, so I'm a little nervous, but we'll see. Okay, that is all I'm gonna put on this list. This is a little bit heavier of a TBR than I normally do, but like I said, I am doing a readathon by the time this posts this weekend, so I'm really excited about that. It is my birthday readathon, so my sister-in-law and I have a hotel we're gonna go to, and we're gonna read for 24 hours, and that is like literally the perfect birthday I could ever imagine, so I'm so freaking excited for that. But I will probably find a couple like rom-coms on KU to palette cleanse for the readathon, plus my in-person book club hasn't picked a book yet, so I want to make sure I have time to read that, whatever that will be. But if you watched this far, thank you so much. Y'all know it means the most to me, and I hope you guys all have a blessed Tuesday. Bye!